has turned out to be somewhat complicated. Investigating the disappearances of a small tribe led by an elf named Irkian, you've so far found three chunks of obsidian, far out from where they would occur naturally, as well as a pack of corrupted blink dogs that appear to be a symptom more than a cause. The shards are registering as desecrated and appear to have been a component in a plane shift ritual. But besides that, more specific information has been elusive. However, on the trail of this, you have made friends with a group of furbolgs that recently came through the Feywild, led by someone using the name Patrick Dewspell. He has explained that furbolgs don't really use names at home, so that's fine. They'll remember who you are. And they're further north than most of the stuff you've been investigating so far. They have provided you with thick, plant-based cold weather gear in case you're stuck up here once the weather turns cold, or say you decide mountain climbing. And that's about where we left off. So we're going to open up in the morning, still in the safety of the Furbolg camp. And you're all level 2. You have a little bit of a lead in a couple more locations imprinted into Lucius's head. Besides that, it's the morning. It is cloudy, a little blustery. Leaves are starting to come off the trees. And what are you all getting up to?
I think Lucius would be in the process of acquiring one of those leather bladder sacks, whatever, that they were using to heat up on stones, so he himself can make teas or tonics while they're traveling or need be.
Yeah, they're happy to share. So you can add that to your inventory. And it's basically it's almost a leather pouch, but it's designed that the cords that keep the top up will be propped up on sticks, or wood or branch or whatever, to keep the top higher than the bottom. And but made from fairly thick leather, so it won't burn through unless you put it right in the hot fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe leave a couple of the chunks of obsidian here so they can purify them, and we can come pick them back up later?
I mean, if they can do it.
Yeah. That would help with clearing up the desecration on them.
Well, and then we could potentially experiment with making things out of them much safer.
Yeah.
Was it Patrick or Petrick?
Patrick.
Petrick.
That's the Fogboy's name, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Rock will try and find Petrick.
Mm-hmm.
If possible.
Yeah, he's around. He's being they seem to be very courteous, and seem to be really enjoying having guests that aren't their tribe. He sees Rock approach. He's like, well, good morning to you there. What can I do for you this morning?
Good morning, Petrick. It's a beautiful day. Is it a beautiful day? Hold on.
Oh.
Can I see?
It's cloudy and it's blustery. It's a little chilly. It's autumn. That's what it is.
It's a wonderful day today.
Yeah.
I was just curious. You said you had a process to purify the desecrated obsidian. I was just wondering how that process would go.
Well, I'm not unfortunately, because of my responsibilities as the spokesperson and leader of of this tribe. I'm not the strongest here in magic and like the druidic arts, so I don't really have the details. But long story short, yeah, we get a bunch of the stronger magic users together, and they do things that kind of cancel that out with their spells and holy waters and that sort of stuff.
Would it be easier for it to be all in one go, or in more like if I gave you these two rocks, for instance, these two obsidian, would it be easier for you guys to undesecrate these two, or let's say have another 10 later and do it all at once?
Oh, I think it's pretty much the same. There's not a lot of extra startup before every time we do it, so it takes a certain time period, and the more there is, it takes longer.
Okay. We would. I think it would be good if we undesecrated these, so we don't have to worry about these in the future. But I was just wondering if what would be easier on you, since we're already almost imposing on your area.
Oh, it's no problem, no imposition. I mean, we plan on living here, so we want to make, we'd love to have good neighbors, love to have friends here, and want to make the environment we're living in as nice as possible. And having a bunch of desecrated rocks around doesn't seem right.
No, that's the main reason why I want to get these purified, so they don't go to any start making the trees come alive or something. I don't know.
I mean, trees coming alive can be a good thing, but there's a way to do it. I think that'd be maybe unpleasant if they came alive because of these stones. That wouldn't be good.
I don't think so either. Would you like to undesecrate these? I only have 2 rocks in my possession. Do we have more in our possession? I think we do. We have another one from the blink dogs, right?
Yeah, there's
Oh,
if you found
there was one from the berry bush, one from under the tree, and one from in the pool of water.
Was there one from the blink dogs as well?
No, I think they
No.
were just sick. Like we could see their organs were blackish, but I don't remember there being a stone in there.
No, not in them, but they were drinking from the water that had the stone in it.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Presumably, that's the connection.
yeah.
Got it. Okay, so we have 3.
Yeah.
Would you mind purifying these 3?
Not at all. We can add it to the daily rituals until they're done, and yeah, they'll be here if you want them in the future.
I don't mean to speak for the group, but I think this is a priority.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. GM,
Mhm.
can I do an Arcana check to see if my character can link the obsidian pieces and the flame pillars together into the spell? Like to see if I can recognize that correlation?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright. Did that roll through?
Not in Foundry.
Oh. Well, that was a first.
Oh, it did. Got it.
Oh.
May have
Normally
come-
it transfers through.
Yeah. I got it. I got both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, you may have to log out of that add-on and back in or something. It may have come unsynced when I re-imported your character. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
16. Well, from the identify spell that Rock did that they were used in a plane shift ritual.
Yeah.
So
Or just-
adding that to fire, it's you get nothing for certain here. There are several planes though where fire would be more common, And on a 16, I think you don't really narrow it down, but obviously plane of fire. If someone was portaling from the plane of fire, then it could show up
Okay.
as pillar of fire.
Oh yeah. Just because I know I know there's the erupting earth spell, which requires a piece of obsidian.
Yeah, no. You do think that, like, in combination with the fact they've been used as part of a plane shift spell, that these things showing up where the furbolgs think the pillars of fire are, you think it's linked there, but it's you don't know what plane. But there are several fiery ones that could be the cause.
Okay.
Yeah, plane of fire, the abyss, the nine hells, Gehenna, the fun places.
Oh damn! Yeah.
Carceri.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it's interesting when plane of fire is actually the friendliest of the possibilities. But yeah, no, Patrick is. Yeah, no, you leave him with us. We'll take care of it. They'll be here for you, no problem. We do, rituals to help maintain our environment every day, and we'll just add this in and take care of it. Happy to do it.
Awesome. I will then produce the 2 obsidian that I have, because I only have 2. So the other obsidian went somewhere else. And
Don't
do
know.
you like them now?
I know someone grabbed it, and yeah, he holds out his huge hands and takes them. We'll say, like, you give him all 3, unless one is intentionally holding one back. But yeah, who grabbed? I know someone grabbed the 3rd one. I don't remember who it was though. So,
All right.
So yeah, he hands them over to the female furbolg who looked at them the night before. She takes them over and puts them with what looks to be, it's not really an altar, but like some mossy stones that have some beakers and such next to them. Again, that, like, these people weren't invited here by Fae. They wandered here on their own, and they are operating at a somewhat higher tech level than the rest, although not major. And a lot of that, their comfort and everything, is coming from the fact that they're just so at home in a wild forest like this. But they're definitely throwing their own clay as well as making stuff naturally, wood, and by growing wood with druidic magic and stuff like that. So. What else are you getting up to?
Well, I think for moving on with this, should we head straight to the south by going through the camp to check in on them, see how they are?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we have any other real leads at this point, so.
Yeah, we can see if they're okay.
Yeah,
But
maybe
it's
something.
been like a few days we left them. Weeks, I think.
Just
Hard to tell with no moon.
Nice.
Yes. I think it's been 4 or 5 nights.
Alright.
I'm losing track. We've already been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
This is really the Fae.
We need someone with a keen mind.
You definitely, there is Fae influence here. The furbolgs have told you, there is a major portal further west, but weird time stuff, I mean, definitely related to the Feywilds.
Yeah.
All right. So from where you are, you've gone fairly far north. It will take you. It'll take you about a day's travel to get back to the camp. Partially because you have to go partially around a lake, so you're not going in exactly a straight line. Leaving early in the morning as it is right now, you should be able to make it by sundown, traveling at the pace that you have been, or a little after sundown. Full 16-hour, travel day essentially. Is that what we're doing then?
I think that's the plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because that way, in case they need to start moving before
Yeah.
the winter cycle starts to hit.
Yeah, they might have been moving right now, or probably started moving. Hopefully, they're still there.
So,
Yeah.
so you set out into the cold, windy day, retracing your steps to some degree, but trying to also go in a more direct route when possible. Who's leading the group, traveling-wise?
I think we're all pretty level on that front.
I was gonna be up in the air, kind of being lookout
Yeah.
at the very least.
Awesome. Make a perception check while you're up there. And, someone who's trying to keep the path. Give me a survival check.
Let's see.
I'm guessing Arku would probably take points since we don't have an actual
Yeah.
specialist for it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll aid Arku then.
Great. Yeah, rock. There's a lot of trees. They're pretty dense. They're starting to turn. So, it's very pretty up there.
Sure is.
Yeah, no problem with Arku leading there. It does take all day. By the time you get to the lake, the sun is down and the wind coming across it is cold and damp. But before too long, you see a small fire on the southern shore, and you are able to move around the edge of the lake and come to the camp. First thing you see is several eyes of people on watch in the camp, and you don't see Irkian right away.
Alright.
Should it ever be important, I basically have detect magic up at all times now because I have that invocation.
Gotcha. Understood.
Should we announce ourselves?
Hello,
What do you?
we're looking for Irkian. We've come back with some news.
People come out of hiding to people who are on watch and just staying close to trees and bushes so as to not be seen easily. And they wave to you. One of them waves you in, and the other one walks further into camp. And you follow them, moving around the trees, moving around the small makeshift hide tents that they've made, to find Irkian sitting with the elven woman who was with him before around a campfire. There's a few others with them. Looks like there's a couple orcs, a half orc, sitting with them around the campfire. The person who escorted you gives you a smile and a quick thank you, and heads back to the edge of the camp. But Irkian says, back already? It's only been a few days. Have you figured anything out?
Unfortunately, nothing completely definitive, and we're going to keep investigating. But I think we've uncovered enough that you should not loiter here longer and should get moving to your winter location.
The problem is, Irkian, we don't have a reason for the disappearances yet, but we do have an idea of also how to avoid more, or possibly prevent them.
You see his face fall as he takes in the fact that you're saying it's time, it's time to move on, when he specifically told you. The reason was they're waiting. The wait they were waiting was because they were holding out hope to find these people. So his face falls, but he nods and says, well, I appreciate that. We definitely don't want to lose any more folk. I think we've decided to head for the southern edge of the mountains. It's one of the few landmarks we can see from here. And he kind of points in a direction southeasterly. We haven't really been that far south. That's, one of the groups that we lost was supposed to be scouting that way. But it's...
Oh, yeah, maybe we should go that way first.
Or
if that's where you plan on going.
we could accompany them.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
we can escort them to this somewhere in the south.
We were headed that way anyway, right? Isn't that where one
Yeah.
of our
Yes.
Well, that's what I
locations
was
is?
saying. Maybe we should go first.
Well, if you want us to wait, I mean, we'll have to pack everything up and get food ready to move. And anyway, so we could wait another day, and you could go ahead if you wanted.
We could.
I mean,
yeah.
we'll travel faster than them anyway, I imagine. So,
Well, Irkian,
Um,
we could scout ahead down south.
Yeah.
Probably find a good place,
Hmm.
a good spot for you, folk.
And don't worry, Irkian. We are not saying that the people are gone for sure. We may still be able to retrieve them, and we will try to have that ending as best we can.
I appreciate that.
yes, but we have not given up. But if we are going to be able to get them back, it will be in a manner that we can bring them to you wherever you are. There's no need to stay here.
Okay. That sounds as good as it could in the situation. Yeah, we'll head to the southern edge of the mountains because we can see them ending, and I don't know if it's land or sea there, but it should be warmer and there should be water, and hopefully, yeah, it'll be warmer for the winter, and we'll see. We're still pretty new here, so
Yes.
When he says that, Lucius will kind of reach for his hand. Irkian, you have two resourceful and wonderful neighbors near you. We've met some furbolgs to the north. They're willing to help you, if need be, but they have yet to fare a winter. So they don't know if they could support you or
Right.
your troop.
well, I'd love to meet them. I've met furbolgs in the past, and they are pretty nice usually. But yeah, I don't know. There's a few of us. I mean, less than was, but there's a few of us here, and I don't want to impose on them. Winters are hard.
Yeah.
But maybe in the spring, when we head back to follow the deer, we'll look them up. Yeah, if you can tell us where they're staying, we'll be happy to look them up, and maybe be neighbors, I guess.
So they're about a
Yes.
day's northeast from here, correct? Is it northeast?
Northwest.
Northwest. And the
Yes.
Duelwyn, if they're afraid to go somewhere, you should be as well.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Um,
It's just we don't have a way of sustaining ourselves for food if we don't follow the herds that we hunt. And in the winter, it gets real hard to find deer in the forest. But if we can get out to the edge, we could fish and find food that way.
Yes. Irkian, are you aware of a substance called obsidian?
I know it's a rock. I don't know anything about it.
It's best at this stage. It would be best to be cautious of any obsidian you find. It may have been desecrated.
Okay. Um, you can see he doesn't fully understand, but is willing to take your word for it. Like, okay, so
Yes.
black,
So
black rock, right?
yeah. So if you find it around any of your food sources or water sources, clear it out from there, and just be cautious because it may taint those sources and make people sick.
Okay. Yeah, we can look for that. That's good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't know rocks could do that.
Well, they
Just
shouldn't
the
be able to.
desecrated ones. Just the desecrated ones.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I'm really glad that the gods sent you. It's the world we came from had gods too, but they weren't helpful or present. And this is kind of a nice change.
Yeah. Yes. Well, it is still fairly early stages. There aren't as many people to interact with so far.
It's a work in progress. I'm sure the gods are making a new moon for us, hopefully.
Yes,
Our,
that will be coming eventually.
yeah, our old world definitely had a moon, and we kind of miss having one. But I mean, you can see the stars really bright, so that's kind of nice.
Speaking of
Get those.
seeing things at night, a weird question. Any pillars of fire on the horizon?
I don't know about fire. Yeah, we've seen flashes though, flashes of light. I didn't peg it as fire because I mean, if the forest caught fire, it would burn faster. So I just thought of it as a flash. But I guess it was kind of reddish. Yeah.
Those might be areas linked with said obsidian.
Okay. I mean, we should be able to spot places where there are fires. So yeah, that helps.
It doesn't stay for long. It's a brief moment, and at least according to the Furbolgs, it's there and then it's gone.
Okay, so kind of like lightning, like when lightning strikes something.
Correct. But this
Yes.
lightning
This-
leaves tainted
This is a
shards.
magical effect. It's not like anything is actually catching fire. There will not be burn marks left behind.
Okay. But look for the flashes and avoid those areas.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Unfortunately, I mean, we have lost some of our best scouts. But we'll keep going. Smiles kind of sadly.
If they're out there to be found, we will find them.
They're somewhere in the south.
I hope so. I appreciate you all looking for them and letting us know it's time to move on because, yeah, I mean, feeling it today, it's getting pretty cold. We don't want to be moving the whole camp while it's, through snow and everything. That'd be pretty dangerous.
Yes. With things going on, have you been able to go out and collect water recently?
I mean, just from the lake, there are some rivers we know of south of here, but we haven't really used them yet. Will on the trip,
Okay.
but yeah, the lake water's fine. There's fish, healthy fish in it, so
That's okay.
yeah. What else do you get up to around the campfire that night?
I guess Keen's gonna patrol around the camp site, just keeping a vigilant security around.
Yeah.
I think I want to look at the elven lady. She's appears to be sick in a way, correct? But she's not much older than most.
I mean, everyone here seems to be pretty young. The elves are like sub 100. They're essentially teenagers. She's, I would say, sickly, not sick per se. She's very, very pale, and you know, very like quite thin, uh, but not like malnourished looking. Some of it might just be build. Uh, the fact she has dark hair, even more pale as well. But yeah. She's sitting there. I mean, she hasn't said anything or spoken up, but she's sitting there around the campfire with the rest. No one's ignoring her. No one's paying her any additional heat or anything.
Can I have a search around the camp? See if like I can find a couples.
Yeah.
And I will offer them a wedding rite if they wish for it.
Absolutely. I think it's pretty late at night at this point.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone is like, "Hey, let's do this right now."
Yeah.
Are couples who are, who are interested in that as something, and begin to ask you questions. This group has been told about the gods by the Fae who brought them here. They've prayed to them, but they don't really know that much about them. So, yeah, you are able to have that conversation, and there's definitely some young couples. Everyone here is again very young, so who are into that. Doing a bit of a survey around the camp as you do that, paying attention to who's around, obviously, because you're looking to identify something specific there. There is quite a mix of ancestries here. There is quite a few elves and others, who show elven blood. There are quite a few humans, but you do note goblins, hobgoblins, and bugbears in small numbers as well. Halflings, a couple gnomes. It is pretty multicultural here. You don't see any dragonborn. You don't see any Goliaths, but
And dwarves.
no dwarves. So and again, there seems to be in this culture. There seems to be no concern about crossing races or anything. The couples are often of mixed ancestries as well.
Interesting.
So basically, with the couples you speak to, again, they're all young couples. They're excited by this possibility, but they all ask that maybe this is something that they could do, ideally in spring, just for symbolic purposes. But at very least, if you don't think you're going to be around for that they ask that maybe after the move for winter is done, and because everyone has a lot of work to do if they're going to be moving in the next couple days. So,
Yes.
but,
We'll see where we are required, and if I am able to spare the time in spring, I will come out. But I cannot say for sure.
yeah, so a young orcish man who's kind of speaking on behalf after you've spoken to a few of them, and he's that'd be great. We haven't. We have a lot of stories and legends about traditions and formalities and things that we did as a community before things got real bad back where we used to live. We don't do a lot of those things anymore because there's just no time, no resources. So that'd be, besides what it means to us personally, I think it would be a really nice way to show that things are getting better for the whole tribe.
Yes, well, what is life without a joy?
No, that'd be great. Hopefully we can do that. We're just saying spring because that's apparently what our ancestors often did. But traditions are good, but we could make new ones. Just be nice to bring that one back, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I'll just kind of scout around the edges, the well, help just have a brief look around the surroundings, just make sure everything's alright.
I think I would walk around and I just kind of want to do like a stock check type of thing. Their supplies, medical, weaponry, so on and so forth.
Medical is very basic at this point. Cloth isn't really a thing, right? Like they have, as weird as it is for us to think about it, if you were cut and worried about bleeding, one of the only flat, malleable objects you would have at this level of tech is like literally the skin, like a leather or like a hide that you would press against it, because you have nothing else that can wrap, you'd have animal sinew and certain types of vines to use as cording, and they would have a supply of that that's pretty solid. They have a supply of, they seem to be largely hunters, so they have a supply of leathers and sinew and bone for making tools. They have been here a little while, so they have a good supply of wood. How much of that they're going to bring, you don't know, but they're set up for fire starting and such pretty well. A lot of what they have been drying appears to be fish, but there's also some venison that's been dried and turned into a sort of jerky for them to bring with them. I don't think this particular tribe, although they were getting like berries and such when they were in season, I don't think they're organized enough to be like making pemmican or anything sustainable like that, but just dried meat essentially. They look okay. They look maybe a little undersupplied for the size of the group. If they were to survive the entire trip on just this, but you get the feeling like they're gonna hunt and send out groups and scavenge as much as they can on the trip as well.
Okay, I think come morning, like what's the age range? Everyone like young adults here?
Young adults would be the oldest.
Would be the oldest.
Yeah, everyone's pretty young. Yeah.
So from like toddler to young adult is age. I think I would take time in the morning. I would look for the blood blankets, the moss.
Yeah.
And hopefully teach somebody to identify, hey, if you're in trouble, because they are primarily hunters and the wildlife may fight back, to kind of increase their odds of survival.
Awesome. So like you're looking for a bit of an apprentice on that
Yeah.
of thing? You find a young human-looking woman who's like an early teenager. And I say human-looking because with your knowledge, either she has an incredibly bad case of acne or she has horns coming in. So probably tiefling blood. Well, someone who had bad acne as a teenager, some days.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, who's eager and interested in learning this sort of stuff. So I believe you have advantage on your next survival check to find some. So
I do.
yeah, so go for it.
Go ahead and attributes, and I will guide because I do not want this one to go horribly.
Yeah.
And then is it roll 1d4?
Yes.
19.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so you're able to explain. You're able to explain what it is, how to find it, and where in the forest to find it, and how to apply it as a dressing, and how to dry it so that it lasts. Um, yeah, and sorry. Um, she gives her name as Casmus, and mentions to you while you're doing this, like, my parents didn't make it with us on the change over here, so um, I've been pushing myself to be, um, kind of protect the little ones here. So thanks very much for teaching me this. This will help, and I can help when the hunting parties come back. And I know I'm still young, but thanks.
Um, you're welcome. There is so much to learn. Um, and unfortunately, I haven't figured it all out yet, but it's gonna be a moment of trial and error for me. But obviously, anything I come across, I'd be willing to pass down that wisdom to you. Um, and I hand her Keenan's knife that Keenan gave me. This
Oh my.
is used as a weapon, but as you can see, as I'm pulling some of that blood blanket off, I it's the perfect tool for gathering plants, delicate plants like this.
Yeah, yeah. So you show her how to use the knife to. I mean, sphagnum moss blood blanket. It often grows on like downed trees and stuff like that. So you show her how to lightly scrape it off to keep it intact, and yeah. And she's, yeah, basically just repeats thanks a lot. Seems a little overwhelmed and a little shy, and yeah.
Just remember, it's all a circle. As much as your hunters are important, you are important to them to keep them healthy and fit to hunt again.
That's yeah, that's what eulogy says. So yeah, uh, it's hard to remember sometimes, but yeah, thank you.
Um, you're welcome.
Um, I guess before all this happens in the morning, um, I wanted to, during the night, or before I actually go to bed, to uh, work on. First of all, how are the spears constructed? Is it just a pointy stick, or is there an actual stone at the end sharpened?
There's flint tips sharpened at the end, connected with sinew like rope, and a sort of mix of like tar and mud and such that hardens up into a sort of glue. It's kind of a mix of the two. It's tar and pine sap and a bunch of different sticky substances that kind of set up.
Mhm. I would like to try and work on me as a player. I don't know exactly, but I would try and work on maybe a better way to connect um, a a sharpened stone to the actual rod itself.
Awesome.
Um,
And in like in a sense of experimenting to try to get that.
yeah, try and improve on an already decent design.
Gotcha. Yeah. Um, yeah, and I mean, like in certain places and in winter, you're not going to have access to make that sticky tar, so that's a bit tricky. Make a roll Tinker's Tools, so intelligence plus proficiency.
How would I do that? Do I just roll an intelligence check and then?
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
Your proficiency bonus. That'll be fine.
Just an ability check. Natural one.
Oh no.
I don't make any progress.
I think um, I think what happens, there's several factors working against you. And I'm going to tell you, these all were in my head when I'm thinking about how hard it would be to do this. One, you don't have a ready supply of materials. As far as flint goes, this isn't an area with a ton of flint. Two, it's a pretty loud process, and like flint knapping, making a sharpened rock out of flint. And you started this process well after dark when a lot of the camp was going to sleep. You have no light for it, so you're working in the tiny vestiges of campfire.
I can light up a rock.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, everyone's gone to sleep, so if you're not unless you move away from the camp, there's just a bunch of stuff complicating everything here. And,
I'm completely oblivious to all these different things.
but yeah, in the end, you think you have a design, an idea in your head, but you are unable to bring it about this night in a satisfying or useful way.
Got it. But that's all I wanted to do.
Awesome.
In the morning, when it's like everyone's a bit more calmer and easier to be near, I'd like to ritually cast detect poison and disease, and then just make my way around the camp, seeing if anyone's ill.
Actually, they're surprisingly healthy. You get basically nothing except for the lowest level of a little bit of common cold.
Yeah.
They seem to be very hardy folk. And yeah, their supplies. I mean, the one thing I think to note, their supplies are clean as well. Like their food supplies, their water supplies.
Okay.
Arku is basically just going to be pitching in wherever he can be useful, and with paying special attention to tents and clothes, and maybe seeing if I can determine and then pass on any techniques the furbolgs use to maybe make them warmer.
Right. A lot of the techniques the furbolgs used kind of relied on druidic magic. They create something that's solid state after it's done, but they were leaning heavily on that. I think what you do note and pass on from them is how they set up their encampment, how they used larger trees, how they blocked the wind with it, how they created semi-permanent and permanent buildings that took advantage of the shape of the forest around them and everything. Whereas this tribe is more okay, we're gonna cut down a couple trees here and then put up a bunch of tents in the resulting clearing. The furbolgs were definitely, they cleared some trees, but they worked with the trees that were there far more, and in a way that was efficient. So I think Arku passes some of that knowledge on to the people who are generally, in charge of doing the layout of the camp, which would include Irkian, and give them some pointers for as they move south.
Yeah, you just kind of lit a light in my head. I'd like to try and talk to them about the importance of replanting where they can.
Nice. Yeah, I mean that's going to be important to a lot of people here, including
try and getting that built in early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, at first they're not quite getting what you're saying, simply because, although rather unpleasant, some types of pine cone and acorns are fully edible to humanoids, and it's wait, that's food. We're not putting that back in the ground. But you're able to explain no, it doesn't necessarily have to come off the tree you chop down. You're gonna find more in the forest. Just make sure you're replanting some of these and making sure that seeds are scattered in any areas you clear. Awesome. And Irkian, and I think by the time Casmus and Lucius get back to camp, Casmus would also be like really interested in that sort of stuff, and really pay attention as you talk about that. Awesome. Are you all heading out ahead of them, or what's the plan now that the sun is up?
I get if I'm probably ahead, probably we could find the others down south as well.
Yeah, I think at minimum we should lead them, just to be like ahead of, but like a buffer between them and whatever is happening.
Awesome.
Yeah, not like I'm not a day's travel ahead. Maybe we're talking a couple 100 feet.
Awesome.
Oh no, I think we should go, like a full half day out ahead of them or something.
Yeah, like because that would give us enough time to encounter and maybe deal with the issue before they arrive.
Awesome. So, Irkian approaches you all as you getting ready to leave. And so, how you're gonna find us again as we travel then, or what's going on there?
You told us.
How open is the landscape on the way south?
From your knowledge, which was imparted to you, and actually the Fae had a pretty good map that they dumped into Lucius's head. The trees eventually stop to the south. The tree line actually stops almost just a little bit before the mountain line, and it becomes open plains down to the ocean.
Because we traveled past the ocean, and then it was like miles and miles of open plains for a while before we started seeing the trees while we were on our horses.
Yeah, so the forest does start thinning once you get a couple of weeks of where you are now.
Yeah.
A group this large is fairly easy to track down.
Yeah. And they do seem to have fires every night, especially now that it's getting colder. So yeah, Irkian's like,
So yeah, we should be able to find you easily enough.
Good. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. Well, we'll see you soon. I'm just gonna make sure everyone's packed up and we're not leaving anything behind. Yeah, everyone's breaking down the tents and rolling them up, and making sleds essentially to pull heavier stuff on. Very, very basic. That's like literally made out of sticks tied together, but it'll let you pull stuff across the ground. So.
Is it too early to talk about the wheel?
I mean, but we're literally talking Flintstones carving.
Yeah.
They don't have the woodworking skills yet for that.
Yeah.
Woodworking tools. I mean, you can kind of carve wood with stone tools, obviously, but getting it into a round, like an efficient round shape, and then making an axle would be a lot to do with.
Yeah. Yeah.
May have to get to metal before that. Awesome. In fairness, wheels are great, but in the forest they are slightly less useful because the terrain is not really clear. So the sun is out today. It's still cold, still blustery, but it's a little less cloudy than the day before. Anything before you leave them to finish packing up?
I think I would go up to Irkian. Irkian, as we're traveling, I'm gonna just do like come up with a symbol. We'll just go with the triangle. If you see this carved into a tree, stay away from that area. I'll draw an arrow to the way you should travel, which is the way we have traveled.
Okay. Yeah, we use signs like that sometimes with the hunting groups. That makes sense. We'll be on the lookout. I want to thank you all again. Being a leader of a group like this is not the easiest, and I felt pretty bad losing folk, so it's not like it hasn't happened before. We came from a really dangerous area, but thanks. Thanks for helping. So, and you all head out?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with a promise from Irkian that they're going to be completely have broken down camp and be ready to move by midday or a little after, and they'll be following the same direction, you are all able to set out towards one of, I believe, 2 remaining spots that were burned into Lucius's mind by the Fey creatures. And you're heading towards the one that Irkian said was the most recent group that went missing. The group that was supposed to be scouting their way south, but should have returned long ago. As far as autumn goes, this far north, it's a fairly pleasant day with sun coming through the treetops, and you are able to make good time with the ground being dry, underbrush having died down a little bit with the cold. Lucius, could you make a survival check for me? You know where you're going, and there's no question you're going to get there. Let's just see how efficient we are.
Whoops. D20 13.
Awesome.
Is this the last site that we have on Lucius's mental map?
2.
There's one west of here, but it was told you were old. You were told it was an older disappearance hunting party.
Okay, so there's one still to the west, but okay.
Yeah, there's one almost due south of where you are at the camp, and then there's one off.
Okay.
Got it. I swear I'm going to get you guys a map. It's almost done. Just, and yeah, so you're able to make good time. There you cross what you assume are some dried stream beds. There's no major rivers through here. As you get further south and further away from the portal to the Feywild that you've been told is far northwest of where you are now, you find that autumn has actually set in more. The trees have lost more of their leaves. It's harder to move stealthily through dried leaves. You're all, have some skills in that direction, but nature is what it is. You haven't moved far enough south that it should be a major difference, but it's a noticeable difference.
We're in the southern hemisphere, boys.
Y'all move fast through the woods. Fast. Again, I really need to show y'all a map. But you are able to make it further south and head pretty much directly towards where Lucius knows this group went, where the Duan Fae imparted. As you get close to the group, or get close to that spot, what are you doing?
Well, I will have detect magic up, certainly.
I will, every so often I'll be jumping up in the air and looking around, seeing if I can see anything from the top.
Awesome. Make a perception check for me, please.
Natural 1, let's go.
Whoa.
And the hunting party thought you were an
Two in a
eagle.
row.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Oh, there's a hunting party.
Mid-air collision with a bird.
An
You're
airplane.
not supposed to stare straight at the sun.
Yeah.
Icarus, my son.
Oof. I wonder if we can get 3 natural ones in a row.
Yeah, let's
Have some legendary ones here.
see what the streak, how long the streak goes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want it to happen at this point.
you know what the odds are of rolling 2 nat ones in a row, right? It's
Yeah.
400 chance.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean it happens sometimes. Yeah, no, Rock. Unfortunately, you are unable. Like you see a lot of trees, you see a lot of, foliage, but you don't see anything terribly relevant up there. You are certain there's nothing as large as the woolly mammoth heading towards the party. Smaller stuff, who knows?
I just get caught daydreaming, just like absent-mindedly thinking about different things.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, yeah, if there was something major heading your way, you would still notice it, but maybe you're just not catching details at this second. Awesome. What's everyone else doing as you approach?
How far out are we about here? Half day, full day?
At this point, you would have been traveling for a little over half a day to get that far.
And this was where another hunting party went missing, right?
It is where a hunting party. Well, it's near where a hunting party went missing, and it is specifically where the Fae said they don't go there. Something's off, which is where you found all.
But yeah, given that it was a hunting party that went missing here, I'm going to be on the lookout for animal tracks as well as signs of the hunters themselves, and if there's any sign of a skirmish or battle.
Absolutely. Give me an investigation check.
Yep.
Or survival, whichever you prefer for that.
Survival would have been 3 higher.
Cool. Works. You were able to find the footprints of the hunters, scouts that came this way. Again, they're not wearing boots; they're wearing leather wraps. It's a pretty distinctive footprint. You were able to find what appear to be large deer or maybe elk footprints. So hoof prints. In fact, whatever hooved prints you're finding appear to be quite large in this area, healthy animals. One thing you would note with an 18 is that most of this scouting party were either halflings, goblins, or children. Just looks like they were smaller folk. You never asked the composition, but now you're like, well, there's no larger footprints here at all. Not saying there wasn't larger folk with there, but if they were like 6 foot tall people or taller, they were hiding very, very well, not leaving tracks.
And that the foot tracks are 4-legged, though, right?
They are.
I would set to following that trail, and again with detect magic up.
Anyone doing anything else while the group sets off that way? Are you going stealthily? Are you charging forward? What are you doing?
I just want to keep an eye out for any plants that look like they're beginning to die off strangely compared to everything else.
Yeah, I would say that occupies a lot of your time while you're traveling there because it is, and a lot of them are dying off naturally, and you'd be spending some time detailed investigation there, but you don't find anything along that route that shows that.
Lucius would be doing the opposite. essentially looking for those that are staying healthy in the harsher weather, and
Okay.
collecting and so on and so forth.
Yeah, make a survival check. The area does look reasonably healthy, Zephia. As you're going through this, like you're learning the area, and it's like, yeah, it's autumn, stuff's dying, but it doesn't look like there's any disease spreading or anything.
Hmm.
I rolled that in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I got it.
21.
Awesome. Specifically, stuff that helps, stuff that hurts. What are you looking for?
I think at this point let's go with stuff that hurts. I have a little bit of knowledge of what to look for to help, but not what to use in case or.
Awesome. Um, you come across a short, crooked, pale tree trunk. It still has a full dome of leaves, and there is a hard orange fruit on it. And as you find it, the knowledge that goes with it comes forward into your mind. That is what's called snakewood or humble button, or occasionally people just call it the strychnine tree. The seeds, the berries, if they're broken open and a vapor will come out of them that will hurt most humanoids with poison damage, as well as having a chance of paralyzing. There's not many of these. They don't seem to be super common, but you find enough to get a couple doses worth. It'll need a little processing. Throwing the seed at someone is not going to be terribly effective, but that is something you can add to your inventory for later processing.
Okay.
It is particularly harmful to most humanoids. So. Awesome. Anything else as you get close to this area?
Just a quick question for everyone: is my mic picking up that fan, or is it all good?
I think you're
You're
good.
all good.
All right, sweet.
Great. So, as you get close to this area, you start, and rock you up above. You do notice there is a clearing up ahead, following these tracks, which coincides, for better or worse, with where Lucius's mental map is taking you.
There's a clearing up ahead, guys.
I think we kind of hit a few people's agendas at once here. In the middle of that clearing, as you were all standing at the edge of it, Zephia, there's a tree in the middle of it that definitely looks sick.
Yeah.
It's covered in vines. It's standing kind of on its own in the middle of the glade, and it does not look healthy.
Wow.
Shortly before you get to this clearing, there is a very large set of hoof prints, four-legged, big elk, moose maybe, like hard to say, but something very large. That you can see from the way the tracks overlap, it could be that this group of scouts, this group of hunters, was following it. And both sets of tracks lead into the glade. At that point, the ground gets a little firmer. It's more out in the sun, and the tracks kind of get harder to follow without being very close to them. But at the base of this tree is a very large elk. Its back is to you, and it is pawing at the dirt at the base of the tree. And every once in a while, it seems to try to use its antlers to push dirt out of the way from whatever it's trying to get at.
Okay. As a precaution, I'm going to give Archu Vigilant Blessing. Should we approach slowly? Do you think it will be rabid like those dogs?
Hard to say. Maybe we can try and stealthily circle around so we can at least get a better look at the front of it.
Yes, I'm on for that.
Awesome.
Possibly find the missing people.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Do you think, Zarok, do you think you'd be able to get to the other side? Because we'd have to walk through these dead leaves. It might be easier for you to quietly fly over top.
I certainly can. So I'm just gonna fly across, but I'm gonna try and keep a distance away from the elk.
Sure. Awesome. Okay. I'm.
As quietly as I can. Can I stealth fly?
You can. Yeah. Make a stealth check.
1 in 8,000. Let's go.
Ready? Let's go. On. See it? Oh.
Oh, hey,
Oh.
hey.
Okay. 14.
Yeah. It's pretty stealthy.
Curse is broken.
It's because of how well I rolled last week. Getting into the lore too early.
Okay.
Oh boy. It's time.
Alright.
I don't like the look of that tree, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like, looks
Sold that in my description. It looks screwed up.
looks very Gollum-like.
If you hover over it, it's uninjured.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
I don't have a tile for that.
Fair enough.
So yeah, the groups come in from the north approximately, and Rock, you have managed to make the rest of the way. So stealth-wise, no behavioral changes, Rock, as you fly, kind of skirting around the edge to stay further away.
Can I, as I was flying, can I see a little bit more depth into what this is an elk, right? What the elk was digging for, possibly?
Digging in the roots of the tree,
Okay.
like it's moving earth away from them.
Okay. Immediately, I'm thinking it's trying to find the rock as well, based on previous knowledge.
So no one seemed like there's been no change in behavior yet. So what's everyone doing?
We probably should have planned this beforehand, but try and hand signal to Zarok to be like, does it look good? Does it look rabid? I don't know how we're gonna actually relay that when we didn't plan it.
Yeah, it's got its head down. It's a little hard to see, but yeah. Rock, you can make a perception check if you want to try to get that figured out.
Let's see if I can. Hey, 15.
Hey, let's go.
Nice.
Hmm.
It always balances out eventually. Yeah, I don't think it is large. It looks strong. It does not look terribly healthy, but you cannot get a good look at its head. Where a lot of the hints would be if it was only slightly sick, or it doesn't look emaciated. It looks healthy through the body, but the coloration is off.
I'm just gonna kind of shrug my shoulders and say maybe sick, maybe not. Don't know for sure. I'm gonna hand signal like caution, if however I can do that.
Lucius.
I am going to reach down and pick up a small to medium-sized rock and just throw it like over here.
Sorry, I was in another window. Where were you pinging? Awesome. Okay, make a dex-based attack roll. See how accurate you are. Yeah, no problem.
So +2 on top of that. So.
Yeah. Great. Its head whips up and over to that area. I think all of you have, the imparted knowledge of, deer and elk are prey animals. They're tough, especially elk, but sudden noises like that should scare them. This thing's head comes up and it does not look scared. It looks in the direction of the sound, has no problems with it. Rock, standing on the far side of it, being able to see its head clearly. Everyone else can kind of see this, but it's side on. Its antlers branch off in 50 different directions. They are massively red, almost look like blood vessels. They are not regular, they are not symmetrical, and that part does not look healthy. It also,
Indeed.
everyone can see this, I think, because side on, too. As its head turns to the north and comes up, it has 4-inch long fangs coming out, incisors coming out either side of its mouth. Very
I'm going to cast Hex on it from here.
awesome. Y'all managed to get in here without it noticing you, so hold that thought. Essentially, I think we're at a.
Well, I guess the question is, will it know and react to having Hex cast on it?
It will. I don't believe Hex. Actually, no, I think you're right.
It doesn't inform them that they've had a spell cast on it, but it does have a verbal component to it.
So make a stealth check, and we'll see how quietly you cast it. I think we are to initiative. And, but we are still. You all, as Arku does that, everyone else gets an action as well before it goes. So we are at. We are at Finn. So why don't we take a break and we will come back into this encounter.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
More animals to kill. Let's go.
I'm just doing a test roll to see if my Beyond 20 is working.
Yeah.
I'd say probably not.
Didn't go through.
Hey, that was a natural 20 though. What a waste.
Yeah.
Wonder why that's not working. Okay.
Yeah. That's strange. I'll do some searching, but obviously I can't do it right now.
I think it might be because I've got 3D dice turned on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it may come loose because of that. That's the one thing I love Foundry, but sometimes the modules interact in unpredictable ways.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. Talk to you shortly.
Yep.
Did my hex go off before initiative, or
Yes.
then it will have disadvantage on its initiative because I'm hexing dexterity?
Awesome. Okay. Is everyone back then?
Yep. I'm
Yep.
here.
Oops.
No worries.
Uh,
That's where
oh,
we're-
and I figured it out. It was because I had 3D dice on.
Yeah, okay. I love the 3D dice though, because at least like it is an individual setting, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And everyone can set it separately. I really gotta...
How do we get the our like attacks and abilities again up on the bottom of the screen in Foundry?
it's not built into Foundry. It's a module.
Oh,
Forget how to toggle it. Half a second.
There's a little icon with 2 crossed swords on the left called Toggle Argon Combat HUD.
That's the one. I have barely used that as a player. I just really liked it the one time, so I added it to the... Okay, so it's going to roll
There we
initiative.
go.
Then it's going to roll initiative again. So that was a...
And I had advantage on initiative, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it should be a 23.
Okay.
Is there a way to hide the icons on the left side? Because I can't get to the button to move the
Oh, what I
initiative
usually
tracker.
do when that happens is I actually minimize the dock with with the AV stuff in it, and then I can move the carousel out and then open
Well,
it up.
like when I minimize the dock, the button to move, like the carousel thing, is underneath the token controls.
Yeah, if you're,
button?
it's finicky, but if you're real careful, you can grab it even though it's underneath the other button.
You have to go between the buttons, and yeah.
The hardest thing is just figuring out where the hell it is, because it's just a little hamburger menu that is underneath another button. So
Yeah, well, it's at least for me, it's directly under it. That's
Oh,
alright. I'll deal with that.
yeah. I wish there was a way I could set like a position default, but unfortunately, again, love Foundry, love the modules. Every once in a while, it's a little hinky. Okay, this creature, this elk-like creature, is hexed, and yeah, its dexterity is not going to be as good for this fight. It has turned to the north and reacted first to the thrown rock and second to the spell that was cast. But it is now aware of all of you, so Arku, you're up.
I keep pressing the wrong push to talk button.
21. 21 is a definite hit. This creature is large. It is bulky. And, not armored at all.
Nice. Oof.
In a single hit, it went from looking, I mean, kind of screwed up, but healthy, to near death.
Ooh.
That was a lot of damage. Yeah, okay, yeah. Awesome. Zephyr, you're up.
Yes, well, the fact that it's not looking well changes what I was planning on doing. Okay. So, in that case, I will. Where's that? 20 feet. Okay, I will pick Ebby, Keenan, and Archer, and I will give them Bless.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'll move there,
Awesome.
and that'll be it for me.
Perfect. Oh man, I apologize. My the thing I'm using for status effects updated, and it must have lost most of its 5e things.
Yeah.
Track that manually. It's like, oh, I have radioactive. That's not helpful. Doesn't come up a lot.
This is Fallout now, I guess.
Mini nukes have been going off around people and they don't know. That's what the light flashes are.
That's what the shards are.
Oh, no wonder the obsidian is radioactive. I guess we've been
Just-
touching it.
Tiny little nuclear bombs.
Awesome. Okay. It is the creature's turn. This elk is going to finish its turn towards Arku. It is putting its head down and charging.
I am going to hit it when it comes in range.
Mm-hmm. That's a hit. Damn. So the creature charges directly at Arku, and what happens as it gets in range, because it does not survive whatever happens.
I just see it coming, and I have a spear, so I just brace it down and let it run straight onto it.
Yeah. And I think the spear shaft like bends a bit under the weight and force of this, but holds. And I think it's going to take a little bit for you to work it out, but as it drives deep into the chest of this thing. Awesome. So that creature is dead. Doesn't appear to. Now that it's laying on the ground, it is horrifically injured. But even before the damage it just took, this creature was not right. It doesn't look like any elk or deer should. Like I said, 4-inch long incisors on either side of its mouth, antlers that are just growing off in every direction and are blood red. So Abby's going to move up. Lucius, what are you up to?
How do I? Nope.
Click if you're control dragging, you can then click to save a point and then move, continue holding control and do a path that way.
Okay. Can I go through Ebby?
It's double movement, so it's like doing 10 feet.
Okay.
Every 5 feet going through someone is like doing 10. So.
Okay, so I could get here. So
Yeah.
I will move through Ebby. Oops. And I'll actually move up a little. I'll use my action to dash towards here.
Great. So you can move over the elk now too, as it is laying on the ground.
Okay. So we'll move up there for a total of 60 feet. I didn't want to jump off the cliff.
Great. Rock, you were up.
The elk is completely dead, and I see that, right? I am going to make probably the fatal error of moving close to this tree. I'm gonna fly up.
Mhm.
Maybe 10 feet. Hold on. How do I do the skin?
Still taller than that, obviously. It's a tree, but yeah.
I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3.
It's a weird looking tree.
It's a very weird looking tree.
That's as far as I can get.
Okay.
And if I can I see where it's digging, or is it on the other side? It's on the other side of the tree, isn't
It's
it?
on the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I guess I will move another couple feet over here.
All right. So hang on before you do that, actually.
Dang it.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
it is a tree golem.
Yeah.
It's not a tree golem. It is an extremely corrupted tree, and more details will have to come after it's trying to knock Rock out of the air.
Yeah.
It did roll higher than you on initiative, which means it has been holding its action for something to get in melee with it, and it has a 10
Ooh.
reach. So
Ooh.
Oh my.
Yikes.
Oh, Rock.
I'll be fine. You okay?
I don't believe you.
it is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. Okay, so as you fly up to it and you get within reach and you pause for a second to consider where you're going to have to go to get a better angle, all of a sudden a massive branch just whips down at you and catches you in the shoulder. 13 points of bludgeoning.
Oh my.
Emphasis. Nice.
goodness.
Okay. Ow.
Yeah, so I wanted, since I knew that was a possibility, I thought that should happen before you decide what to do with the rest of your turn.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, well, you
Ooh.
have options.
Appreciate it. Shoot.
Ooh.
How you looking,
If
buddy?
if I leave, then I take an opportunity attack.
That is it. So the way it works in 5e is holding an action is your action and uses your reaction when it goes off. So it has used its reaction for the turn.
Oh,
You can't
okay.
back out.
I'm gonna be like, oh crap, no, and I'm just gonna back up. Just like no, just
Yeah.
using the momentum of it hitting me. I'm just like flinging through the air,
Yeah.
and then I'm eventually 10 feet back. I'm catching myself.
Okay, awesome.
And
Your
that's
turn.
Wow.
my turn. I think unless I have a bonus action, I do not.
Keenan, you're up. back of the pack, but that was in plain view. You definitely saw that. So
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
I knew it. My player
Ah.
did.
I mean, trees that try to eat people are not super common.
No.
20. So if I move through people, it's the 10
Yes,
feet.
it counts
Yeah,
as 10.
so 15, 60 is that spot. Oh, you're like
30.
just 5 feet out of range, man.
I'll be okay, guys. I'm
35,
fine. I'm definitely not one hit away from death.
We're immortal. What do you mean?
All right.
Oh
I'll be
dear.
fine. I'm infinite
You're one
HP.
hit away from taking a nap, a very long nap.
We're gods.
I'm gonna take an action to dash.
Awesome. Again, you can go. I'm gonna just take the elk out of the way because yeah, you can go straight through there.
No, I gotta go.
Kicking the elk on the way.
Yeah.
Trips on it.
Rough
40.
terrain.
Oh, so I have like 35 feet of movement. So dash is like how much is that like?
The dash is 35. It's the same. You get your movement again, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
We have 70 total.
70.
Already used half, but yeah. No, not from where you are now because you moved up already. You have 35 more feet from where you are now.
Okay, right here.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I have anything else.
Sorry, hang on. That's a little too far, man. That was 15 to there, 5 to there, so 20, 25, 30, 35. It would be here.
Okay.
The number in brackets is the total when you're dragging that way.
All right.
The number outside the brackets is the current leg, the current since you last clicked. So.
All right. Let me see if I have anything. Nope. I have.
Cool.
I'll end my turn. I get there.
Awesome. Back to the top of the order, Arku. As we hit the top of the order, this thing seems to be trying to get its roots loose from the earth, but does not seem mobile yet.
Okay, I am going to bonus action transfer my hex to it and hex its strength score.
Great.
And my spear is like firmly lodged in this elk, right?
It would take. I would say it's at least your bonus action to work it loose.
Okay, I'm going to just stay where I am then and sling an Eldritch Blast at it.
Hell yeah.
Remember, you've got bless.
Yeah, that hits. Definitely. Awesome.
And if it should matter, 5 of that is necrotic.
Yeah.
How tall is this tree?
25, 30 feet tall.
Okay.
It's force and necrotic. Yeah, no, it hits hard and looks like it did about as much damage as you thought it should. Awesome. Zephia, you are up.
Okay, I'm going to move. Nope. That one? This one? Nope. Hang on. 5, 10, 15.
I think moving through people
Yeah.
costs like 10 movement.
Yeah, every 5 feet when you're moving through difficult terrain, which is what your
Ah,
allies are
hang on.
considered, counts. Yeah, so.
I was
Yeah.
there, right?
Yeah,
So
so
if I go down, it's 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, I
Yes,
still get
that
there
works.
even if I go around them.
absolutely.
Okay. Oh. 35. Because apparently now I can't see anything. If
Yeah.
it actually will move.
There is a rock, and
There
now
we
that you're
go.
down at a lower level.
Yeah. It was just like Everything is gone.
What am I looking at? I'm looking at a rock.
Okay.
Full cover is useful.
From here, so I can't. I'll have to save the healing because I can't reach you out there. But I will. Yeah, where the option go? I will activate my Twilight Sanctuary.
Awesome.
So within a 30-foot radius of me, the area is now dim light, and whenever someone ends its turn in that sphere, I can give you a d6 plus 2 temporary hit points.
Dang.
And-
Okay, that's pretty nice.
And I'll end my turn here,
Awesome. I
giving
believe
myself
you can
that.
actually bring that up in Foundry, and it'll drop an indicator,
Oh,
like
yeah.
an area indicator for you.
Let's see if I can channel divinity. Effects, maybe? No? Available.
It should be under features.
Features. Oh, yeah. Twilight Sanctuary. Usability. So it's showing up here now, but...
Okay. No, it didn't. Okay. It did not.
Oh, hang on. A new screen has just shown up.
Okay.
Any abilities that active possess? Okay, no, I don't think that's that.
Okay. I can do it manually.
Okay.
I thought for some reason it did it automatically, but
Yeah.
so 30.
I think there's... Oh, there you go. Is that you?
Do we get
Okay.
like
At the end of your turn, I believe you get temp hit
Yeah,
points.
so
Is it-
if you end your turn in this sphere, I can give you temporary hit points or cancel the charmed or frightened effect.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, the temp hit points can be real handy.
Alright.
There you go.
And
Or-
yeah, so that's my turn.
Awesome. The tree makes significant process pulling itself out of the earth, but everyone is out of range, and it's still rooted, literally. So
And I did hex its strength. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that had an impact.
it has it could. It did not this particular time. It has a fairly large bonus to strength, as Rock found out. Okay, Abby is up. I think he's gonna chill there because running in solo with no attacks left seems foolhardy. So
Yeah.
And he should spend at least one turn in the sanctuary to get temp HP.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So he gets 5 temp HP.
perfect. And Lucius is up.
Oops. I should be able to get to the edge of it. And I will. I'll just end my turn here. I will make you aware. I'm not gonna make any changes. But I totally forgot spells. I will update that after here.
Okay.
Because I apparently get one more cantrip and one more spell.
Neat. Cool. So
Oh,
So,
that's-
are you not taking an action at all?
I'm not taking an action. I'm ending my turn here.
okay.
I mean,
You
at
could
the
take a
least you
dodge
should
action.
dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
And you get five temporary as well.
Sounds good.
Cool. Rock, you were up.
Ow. And then
Yeah.
Fly higher.
I'm just going to dive to the right here.
Okay.
Go all the way, kind of attach myself to the tree almost, or just fly near it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire.
Awesome. That's a dex save, correct?
Yep. DC 13 Dexterity.
It fails. Yeah.
I
So
mean, I
what-
should hope so. It is a stationary object, essentially.
that is a pretty bad dexterity save. Yeah. So what does the fairy fire look like as it outlines this tree creature?
I'm just going to like take a feather from my my wing, and it's gonna just crumble into a million pieces, and I'm just gonna blow it, and it's just gonna kind of start attaching itself, and then like a light cantrip just brighten.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone has advantage to hit this creature while that is in effect. Keenan, you're up.
Alright. He will pretend he'll move right up here and he'll look to Lucius with he had his spear on his hand like, alright Lucius, you ready?
I just kind of nod.
You have that knife I gave you?
This one, and I just hold out my knife.
I mean, they all look kind of similar.
The Keen just shrugs like, alright then. Get to start. And Keen will rush ahead, next time we move like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Wait, am I in the fairy flame or?
No, it doesn't affect you. It only affects
Ah,
creatures when it was
if-
cast. So
Oh, okay. I thought it was an error effect. Okay.
it's just affecting the creature at this point.
Okay. Interesting. Alright. Targeting this one, I'm gonna use my flint spear.
Awesome. And you do have advantage.
So is it shift? Click?
Oh, that's not how you should do it, but normally you can just click on this flint tip spear. It'll pop up the card in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Attack, and it will offer you the ability to roll with advantage.
Okay.
Advantage is helpful. So 24 definitely hits.
Versatile, that's a hit.
Awesome. So you find with your spear, this creature is, the surface of it is kind of springy. It is a little difficult to damage with something that's trying to pierce it. But you manage to cut it somewhat. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes. I'll end my turn. Bam.
Awesome. Arku, you are up.
Bonus action, I am going to yank my spear out, so I have it.
Yep. Done.
and then I'm going to move up to here.
Nice. Creature's starting to look injured. This tree is taking some hits. It's being blown apart little by little, and yeah, good solid hit.
And I end my turn in the aura. So.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Sophia, do you want to roll hit points for Arku? Temp hit points.
Yep. Ooh.
Better than nothing. And yeah, it's your turn now.
All right. I will move up. Is there enough room for me to get here?
Should be.
Okay. If that will. Yep. Okay. Well, I think you might need to shift that circle.
Oh,
Oh. Yeah, I was there 5, 10, 15. Yeah, I'll move over one more so I can get Keenan in there.
Awesome. Yeah, your front line's going to have that effect then.
Alright, and then from here I will target Zarok with a healing word.
Awesome.
Nice.
6.
Yeah,
And I'll end my turn.
great. All right, the tree is up. Keenan, you have come into range, so
all right.
seems to be pretty single-minded with what it wants to do, and winds up with a branch coming down towards you.
I will use my reaction.
Okay,
And silvery barbs.
awesome.
Yeah, Silver Barbs.
And I will give advantage to
Well, did
Zarok.
the attack actually hit
The
before
attack-
the silvery barbs?
The attack did not hit.
Oh,
Then
dang.
you only silvery barbs a successful roll. You can't even target it at something that misses or fails.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Does he get?
it's a new one still, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's still one of the most powerful spells in the entire game.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does have that little caveat in there. Cool. So yeah, Keenan, barely duck out of the way of a massive branch swinging at your head. No damage. And once again, this time, because of that hex, it does not make any progress in digging itself out. So, Abby, now with some temporary hit points. Let's see. 30. Is the question. Stay in the radius or move around? Well, no, everyone already has advantage, so.
Fairy fire OP.
Fairy Fire's cool. But I mean, yeah, the thing is, it is a dex save, so I've seen games where people just try to desperately land it, and it just never lands.
Yeah.
Um, So that is, yeah, okay. I think Abby, although definitely a spear specialist, going to use something else after seeing that Keenan's attack didn't work super great. So pulls out Stone Axe and gives that a try. That hits. Okay. So the Stone Axe is slashing damage, and you all see Abby move up very quickly and take out the axe, slam it in. It appears to do damage on par with the strength of the hit, doing a little bit of damage to the creature. And then bonus action. Because monks... and follows it up with a strike with his hand for a tiny bit more damage. Lucius, you are up.
I will walk up to it.
Yeah.
And attacks still have advantage against it, right?
Absolutely.
I will cast Inflict Wounds.
Awesome. Roll to hit. Yeah.
22. 16 points of necrotic damage.
All right. So it's a little hard to tell with this creature, with the vines growing off of it and the weird mushrooms and weird growths and the strange shape. But as you reach out your hand and lay it on there and pump necrotic energy into it, you do see that like some of that area just goes dry and the sap oozing out of wounds just turns black. It is still standing, but it seems to be moving slower. It seems to be very injured by that. Is that the end of your turn?
That is the end of my turn.
Awesome. Rock, you're up.
I'm going to first move.
Yeah.
I can make it there. I don't know how I did that. What was that? What is this?
You're on measurement controls on templates.
You're drawing circles.
I know. How?
Token control, the left column at the very top.
There.
And then, yeah.
Oh no, I'm still doing it. Why am I?
You're flying circles.
It will cancel what you're doing, generally.
For some reason, can you move me to the closest corner of there? Yeah, yes.
Sure, yeah. Awesome.
I don't know what's going on.
Are you, in the left-hand column, do you have token
I have select tokens.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. No idea. But,
anyway, so now that I'm there.
yeah, so you, at the end of your turn, you will get 10 hit points, but yeah. Firebolt
Getting
it up.
to firebolt.
You have a
Hey.
that hit anyway, but you can roll again and see if you get a 20.
Oh shoot. Both really good rolls. Okay.
Yeah.
Normal roll.
10.
No, not quite.
So close. That being said, Firebolt fires out of Rock's hand, impacts on this creature, on this tree. A tree, even this time of year, shouldn't go up in flames this quickly, but those of you in the front row have to jump back as it just immediately becomes engulfed, inflicting far more damage than you thought it would, and the tree itself begins to burn. Completely silently, it stops moving and turns into its own little pyre. And that, folks, is the end of that combat as far as opponents that are around, anyway. So,
Rock almost died. One hit.
yeah, I mean, you'll heal. That's, you know,
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm double checking how long the temp hits last for, but if it's longer than the spell, you'll have 6 temp HP, Zarok.
Okay, awesome.
um,
Keen's gonna look at the body. He's gonna poke it with his spear.
yeah.
6 or 4?
6.
So, the tree is a burning pyre. It no longer responds to anything. It is a burning tree. It's as if this tree were super dried out, and is going up like dried firewood. But it is a full tree.
Hmm.
But
Uh,
no longer moving on its own, no longer making any noise, no longer taking swings at anyone.
Well, that was intense.
Oh, looks like we found our campfire.
I'm gonna fly down and just like sit down. Just breathing heavily.
You okay, Rock?
Ah,
That tree really got you good.
trees hit
Yeah.
hard apparently.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing
Tells
that
me to
tree wants a
respect
hug.
nature in the future.
Respect
What was
the
that, Keegan?
trees.
Sorry?
Maybe that tree wants to give you a hug.
Hmm.
It didn't feel very good, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting the full minute, I'll just end the sanctuary earlier so people can see a bit better.
My understanding with temp HP from that is they actually last
I think it's as long as normal temp HP does.
until something makes them go away.
Yeah.
So there.
Right.
Right. So now that combat is over, looking around this glade, first thing besides the burning tree and the really strange elk, the elk was digging at the roots of this tree. The tree itself has partially pulled its roots out as well, trying to get free when it attacked you all. And so there is a lot of disturbed earth around the base of the tree. Arku, you came in here following footprints and hoofprints. There are footprints in this area, as well as the hoofprints of the elk.
Okay, and I will go ahead and drop concentration on Hex and fire up Detect Magic.
Awesome. You do see something about the size of someone's palm glowing very gently from the base of the tree, from its roots, somewhere just in the dirt, just out of sight.
I will start digging that out.
Yeah, so that takes you
Yeah.
a minute or two. Just the only reason it takes that long is because parts of the tree are on fire and starting to fall off, which have to be conscious about. But besides that, it takes a couple minutes. You dig down into the much softened earth from all the movement before, and pull out another chunk of obsidian.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah. I like to just start digging into this deer, seeing if I can determine what's so different about it.
Yeah, make a medicine check.
All right. Oh, hang on. Okay, apparently my stuff turned off. I'll have to go from here.
Okay. 14. You start to do. I don't think when the gods created you, this many autopsies was specifically what they were thinking. But once again, that's where we are. And You begin to take a look at this animal. Um, Something has caused the antlers to grow in a absolutely insane asymmetrical way that would have been weighing the creature down at the front quite a bit. Uh, the rest of the creature looks fairly healthy, except, and I mean, the rest of it looks fairly healthy. The incisors, that's different.
Yeah.
That is not a normal feature on a creature like this. Um, it definitely looks from those fangs like this creature. You don't know if for its entire life or if this is a recent thing, but this creature ate flesh. It was definitely a predator, not a prey animal. Other than that, there is signs of organ damage, the same, approximately the same as what you saw on the blink dogs.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, I mean, after I finish there, I'll come back to the group with everyone, just, clearing up my arms as much as I can.
From what we could tell, I guess from the combat, it looks like the elk was trying to free whatever this was. Correct?
Does seem.
It's possible. I think it's open to interpretation from what you saw. The elk was certainly
Stone.
digging at it. It could have been digging for the stone. It could have been trying to free the tree. The tree did not animate, was not animated or trying to pull itself loose when just the elk was digging at it. It only did that in response to what it thought of as a threat, maybe? You're
Okay.
not sure why. So it could be either way, realistically. But you did see that the tree seemed to have the ability to free itself, and wasn't using that when the elk was digging at it when you all arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Is it possible to deduce in game that the tree was animated and simply not doing anything before the elk died? Like, I know that as a player because of abstract things like initiative order and readied actions, but
I'm gonna say no. It's not possible to deduce, and actually, it's to pull back the curtain a little bit. The tree could have always, if Rock had gone higher in the order, the tree would have been added to the order sooner. It was always an opponent there. It was always something that was animated. So the elk, the elk and the tree were different entities, and there is probably, with the obsidian there's a good chance there's a link, but not that direct.
Yeah.
Probably that deer was
Alright.
trying to get to the obsidian or something.
I wonder if the deer knew that something was wrong and that was the source.
I don't think so. I think like the blink dogs, they didn't attack each other. These two things didn't attack each other. Both living, both we deem hostile. So maybe they can sense the corruption within one another.
what I find most troubling is, by all reports, this is one of the more recent occurrences of something happening, and this corruption is far more severe than anything else we've encountered.
So whoever's putting it is figuring out the perfect formula. They're perfecting
Possibly,
their
yeah.
craft. They're more recent would be more dangerous. Would be my guess.
This needs to be addressed very quickly.
Yes, it's accelerating, it
Yes.
seems.
Someone is putting obsidian, these desecrated obsidian stones into place.
We might not have time to escort the people to the southeastern mountains.
Yep.
We might have to go to the west end.
But we don't have any other leads aside from that other area. As far as I'm concerned, our best lead would been the Furbolgs, wherever they saw the most recent event.
Yes.
If this is happening in the west, that last area, by the time we get to it, it may be even more serious than what this is.
Assuming that's the most recent one. It could be the very first one that they tried, and no problem at all.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but just to clarify one thing. This was the most recent
That they
party from the camp, from the tribe that went missing.
Mm.
Lucius, when the Fae gave you that map, there was no timestamps on anything.
Yeah.
So you don't know for like this is the most recent time where this is whatever's going on has interacted with the tribe, not necessarily the
this could have been the longest stewing one, essentially.
could be.
Could have been.
Hmm.
You said I did see more humanoid footprints here. Is there any sign
Oh.
of a fight or struggle of any sort, like there was with the Blink Dog site?
Make an investigation check, please.
I'm gonna
Survival.
Survival's fine, yeah.
I'm gonna help him out with that.
Zephia,
Yes.
when
Yes.
you... I don't remember what spell you were using, but when you looked at the shards, some had a stronger, I guess, magic to them?
I could tell like they were desecrated.
When we got the one from the well, was that one a lot brighter than the ones that Rock had on them?
Oh, at that point, it was a different spell. So at first, Zephia was using Detect Good and Evil, and then it was Detect Magic at the more recent.
Yeah.
So it gave different information and shows up differently.
Okay.
Arku was using Detect Magic at this
Yeah.
one and was able. It's the same, used in a conjuration magic, specifically a plane shift ritual.
Okay.
Arku, you follow tracks in. There does appear to be a lot of moving around in this area from those tracks. They further head out from here, and they head northwest, west-northwest. It does seem to be the same tracks that you were following in here. There also appears to be others, but you're having trouble making them out.
Okay, well that's different because everywhere else we've found one of these stones, the tracks
They
have just
disappeared.
vanished. They've stopped abruptly.
Hmm.
So
Well, at least we've still got tracks to follow this time.
How fresh are these footprints? Like literally like new like normal sized human size?
No, they're a lot of them are a little bit smaller. Again, similar to the ones you're following down here. They look like small creatures, halflings, gnomes, goblins, or young people. But again, you know it was a scouting party, so probably unlikely. They are. I mean, the tribe has been holding in place for a little over 10 days, so the tracks here are, as the most recent one, are about 15 days old.
Oh, I could say that there probably be more these types of corrupted creatures, like that deer. Or
Yes.
probably more awoken trees, corrupted treemen. You know?
So, operating under the assumption that these tracks are the scouting party, I think it's imperative that we follow them.
Yes, we got because if this time they didn't disappear at the site of the obsidian.
It was an insight check you called for?
Yeah. But yes, Sophia, yeah, this time is different. tracks leaving this site were making haste. And they were headed away from where they were supposed to be scouting. You know, they were supposed to be scouting to the southeast. This is kind of in that direction, but west is opposite.
Huh.
And I say we, unless anyone has anything really pressing they want to try to find here, we can get moving and follow.
No, yeah, I think if this is a chance that they escaped, time is of the essence.
I will go up here and carve my symbol to kind of warn them to stay away from this area.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, we can't really give them a safe direction that they should go instead.
Well, I mean, arguably,
They might have to stay put on that area, but winter is coming.
arguably we've cleared this spot. It may be safe for them to pass.
We don't know if there's other elk.
Or
Also.
if there's anything
Yes,
residual
true.
in the ground. How
Yes.
far out this extends. So if we're heading west, I'll essentially tell them to head towards the eastern direction, away from the other known shard.
I mean, yeah, that's operating with the information you have.
Yep.
So, yeah, makes sense.
I mean, they're trying to go south in general, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Southeast.
Southeast, yeah. The general
Yeah.
So
direction.
yeah, I tell them to continue on southeast.
Yeah.
While we go west.
Perfect.
Hopefully there's. Hopefully it's alright with it.
No, nothing is certain in life. So yeah, you're all getting ready to follow.
I know I just said time is of the essence, but the rest of that elk looks okay. Did we want to try and collect the hide?
I
Or
mean,
some of it?
yeah, we could. I mean, we collect the deer.
Could-
Is anyone actually good at that?
Probably not. I'm not.
King could try or something.
Yeah, I mean like the metagaming here. Like I have a +3 in survival, and so like I can try. But I'm
Oh.
asking, is that anyone's actual thing?
Nah.
Keen's interested to try in this.
I mean, you will know pretty quickly whether you're going to be able to get a good hide off of it or not. Within a couple minutes, anyway.
Yeah. Because if it's just going to go bad, we can abandon it and move on.
Is this still just burning, or is this like completely ash?
After a few minutes of talking and digging the stone out, examining the elk, it is still burning, but it's getting down to the last of it. And it's kind of starting to smolder, and yeah, there's a lot of ash. It's a windy day, so there's a lot of ash blowing around. A lot of sparks in the air. So,
Well,
Alright.
should we follow the footprints, or should we head back to the camp with the deer hide or food?
We wouldn't. I wouldn't trust any of the
Food.
meat inside
Yes.
this deer.
I don't recommend feeding off of anything infested.
Footprints. The question is, do we want to take an hour or whatever to skin this hide if someone's capable of it?
Could be
Which-
useful.
I'm not
Should-
sure any of us has got enough skill to produce
I mean,
a worthwhile.
I'll be honest, you all have hunting ability too. This won't, if you need hides in the future, you'll be able to get them. This creature is not remarkable in that sense.
Just
Yeah, and it
Yeah,
wasn't
okay.
a like especially tough hide or anything. It's just
No, it would
No.
be
No.
clothing or
But-
a bag.
yeah.
Okay.
Relatively speaking, we're already 10 days late. So, What's another hour?
Potentially life and death.
True.
Mm, very
Good
unlikely.
point.
I'm slowly getting more and more worried of
Yeah, I think
this potential issue.
yeah, probably better to pass on that now actually, and move on to the tracks.
Who's leading the group down following the footprints then?
Keen would take a turn.
Awesome. Yeah,
Alright.
roll survival then, please. Or
Alright.
investigation, whichever you prefer. Nice.
Ooh.
Okay. So you all take off, following these footprints. Whoever you're following they're very nimble. They're very quick. But you definitely see a change in the footprints as if they are running, as if they are trying to follow something. After about 500 feet, you find the tracks of maybe what they were following. Boot prints.
Ooh.
Not hide-wrapped feet. Manufactured boots. You all know what those are because you've been imparted with knowledge beyond the current tech level.
Yeah.
With the understanding you're all going to be around for that. That was part of your creation. And another 100 feet, 200 feet. There's a brook somewhere to the northeast. You can hear it, you can't see it. And then there's a change. Arku, I'm kind of assuming you're up there with Keenan doing the tracking. The two of you watching this. Everyone else close behind, watching your tracks, watching the area you're in. Those footprints, over a course of about 4 steps, those booted footprints, become a canine print. 4 legs,
Ooh.
massive, bigger than the hoofprints that elk was leaving. And about 50 feet after that, blood. Covering the trees, covering the ground. Footprints of the humanoid footprints you're following. Whoever made up that scouting party, their prints split off as if they were surrounding something. They were chasing a prey animal, a fight. And one by one, you see marks where those footprints dig in deep, like they were twisting or setting their feet heavily to make a strike. And then you don't find tracks leading from those anymore. And there are no bodies, and there is no equipment. And the tracks end there, with another battle site with no evidence except footprints, and in this case, quite a bit of blood.
The blood is still new.
Wow.
The blood is dried. It is like more brown than red.
I mean, it's new in that we haven't seen blood at any other sites.
This is true.
Wow.
Keen's gotta go to the boots that are like manufactured boots.
Yeah.
Looking at that.
You get a very clear print of a heel and then a toe of it's a sharper print than if you're walking barefoot. The weight came down on a heel and there is a semicircle. It's sharper, and there's no treads. These aren't modern boots, but they are far more modern than the wraps that you've seen on the tribesmen here. And it appears with that roll of 22, um, that whoever wore these boots, whoever left these boot prints, is capable of shape-shifting into a fairly large canid of some sort.
Oh, that's worrisome. Looks like this male or female could transform into a werewolf. Looks like.
Actually, or we've got a angry druid.
With fancy boots on. That's worrisome. Gonna have to report this to the gods.
Question: do we think that the desecrated obsidian and these the party going missing are connected?
I think now, I think this person and the obsidian is connected, and I think the party going missing is because they found this person as opposed to the obsidian.
Was this person walking with the party or following along? I didn't catch that.
The boot prints you didn't find until you followed the party out of the glade. But the party did leave the glade in a hurry.
How far are we from the blueberry patch? Just a guesstimate.
40 miles northeast, or northwest.
And these prints are heading northwest too.
They were before this scene. They were headed, yeah. But I mean, we were talking several feet, like several hundred feet.
Yeah. Well, if it is a shapeshifter, puts our flying creature back on the menu
Yes.
for why the
curious
blueberry
fact,
people disappeared.
Yeah.
Also, if we're dealing with something that has the power to shapeshift, having the ability to mask its tracks is not out of the question either.
Very true.
Yeah.
And it looks like this person doesn't belong into this world. Could be. Maybe came
Yes.
from the portals. I'm not sure. We'll have to see.
The curious factor is still how the people are disappearing without leaving a trace behind.
Well, and what's different? There's a few things different about this one. One, there's blood, and two, this site where the people actually disappeared is quite a ways away from where the obsidian was.
Yeah.
But before, I was thinking that maybe these people were being abducted and sent through a ritual to another plane, and that's why there's no trace of them. But it happened where this ritual occurred. But these people vanished quite a ways away from the evidence of this ritual. So
The other thing is the blood was way before the tracks ended, correct? Where they looked like they were surrounding whatever this creature may have been.
Make a medicine check.
Okay.
They're approximately in the same area.
Okay.
Let's do some forensic science, Stone Age style.
12.
None of the blood, hard to say for sure, none of the blood stains are so far from the ending of any of the tracks that they couldn't be from whatever individual was walking there. This spreading out, this fight that you can see among the tracks, the footprints you're familiar with from the tribe, fighting whatever this canid creature is. The bloodstains, although old now, they're at about the same point where that fight happened, and they could be, some of them, like there's brownish pools where the footprints are. If footprints ended near a tree, sometimes there's a splash on a tree. It varies, but yeah, they're at the same place.
So maybe they wounded it. So maybe there's still blood to
Probably.
follow too.
Could be.
Just confirming, we were heading southeast, right? And now these tracks are going right back up northwest.
Yeah.
They were going back to the camp, is what I'm assuming now.
I would say they're heading a little more west than back to the camp.
Okay.
But yeah.
They were probably running away from something.
I think they were
Probably.
chasing the
I'm gonna say,
creature.
with Keenan, with your 22 on that, it looks like they were chasing the creature.
Ah, okay. Alright. Chasing
When they
someone.
started chasing it, as far as you can tell, because you couldn't see the boot prints in the glade, as far as you can tell, by the time the boot prints show up and it looks like this group was chasing it, it was still boot prints. The transformation into a canid print took place towards the end of the chase, before the combat. Again, you're trying to discern a lot from footprints and old evidence, so it is tricky, but I want to make sure I've given everything to you clearly.
Once it transformed into the canine prince, did it actually keep moving a ways, or did it immediately turn and fight?
For like 4 or 5 paces, enough to slow its momentum maybe, and then it turned.
So this party was chasing after this person. After a while, this person transformed and turned around and slaughtered them.
Oh.
To me, looks like. I'm not sure why they chased this person. We're gonna have to find more clues.
Again, the boots didn't start until a little bit after.
They didn't start right in the glade, as far as you know. Again,
Okay.
sometimes prints cut in and out depending on, metagame, depending on your role, but also depending on forest floor, like the floor of the ground you're on, or were they walking on stones, or did they climb into a tree for a bit? There can be a lot of factors there.
That is one thing I was about to ask. I kind of want to check, like, surrounding trees yet again, like we did in the blueberry clearing, to see, have there been branches that have been knocked down? Does there look like something's traveled through the trees?
Awesome. An investigation check.
I'm gonna search around the area for any clues, for any
Awesome.
more.
Also make an investigation check.
I will give myself a D4.
Yeah, there's broken branches. You find one tree in particular with several lower branches that have been broken to some degree, and a branch maybe 4 feet above head height that has very deep claw marks in it. Keenan, you're having trouble getting anything more than you've already found, just with the number, like the combat. It's a very confused series of prints and blood splatters, and there's a lot going on here. So
Yeah.
the 13 doesn't get you any more than your 22 already did.
The spacing of the claw marks, is it the same spacing as if I were to, like, put my hand against the canine footprints?
Yeah, about within a small margin.
Okay.
That being said, still honoring the 22 from earlier. Again, hard to follow. It's a combat.
Right.
Those canine prints that were boots turn into canine, turn to face its pursuers. They don't come particularly near this tree. And You don't see any scratch marks up the trunk of the tree.
So
I'm going to take a look around and see if I can see if there is any evidence of either boots or canine fuzz leaving the area.
Awesome. Investigation, survival, nature.
Mm.
Okay. The canine prints do leave. From what you can see, heading somewhat southwest, west-southwest, but you're having trouble getting much detail out of that.
Real quick, GM, when you mentioned the prints, are the canine prints bipedal or quadrupedal?
Quadrupedal.
Okay.
Yeah, and like huge, like very clearly canine. You've all have that knowledge imparted to you as part of your survival knowledge, but you know, a bear print wouldn't be much larger.
Okay.
so like direwolf size.
It's a big wolf.
So, I think it's 1 a.m. now for my time. I think now is a good time to call this session, and that way, if you think of anything else you want to investigate at this site over the next week, we can pick up there and continue investigating. That sound good to everyone?
Yep.
Awesome. So, good session. Way to take down that elk, like, instantly.
Yeah.
It was never going to last that long, but that was pretty impressive for level 2. And hey, Rock, thanks for springing that trap, buddy.
Yeah. I knew it as a player, but Rock didn't know, so I was like,
Yeah, it's one of those enemies that has the trait, the false appearance trait, which means as long as it stays, unless someone's like, that tree, like something really specific. It is a specific ability in 5e that as long as you don't move, you are indistinguishable from the natural thing.
right.
So,
Yeah.
It was never a real berry bush.
It didn't move. It just didn't move.
It really didn't beat around the bush. Oh.
Did anyone make notes for this session?
Shit. No.
I've got some. Yeah.
I've kept